For many years before their deaths, film director Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle Reiner, did everything they could to help their troubled son, Nick Reiner. People close to the family say the couple never stopped trying, even as Nick's struggles grew deeper and more difficult to manage. Rob Reiner was best known for directing famous films such as The Princess Bride and When Harry Met Sally. In 2016, he made a very personal movie called Being Charlie, which he co-wrote with his son Nick. The film focused on a young person battling drug addiction and reflected Nick's real-life struggles, which began when he was very young. In interviews at the time, Rob and Nick spoke openly about their difficult relationship. Nick admitted that he had gone in and out of rehabilitation centers many times and had even lived on the streets at certain points in his life. Rob said working on the movie forced both of them to truly understand what the other was going through, and he believed their relationship was improving. Nearly 10 years later, the situation ended in tragedy. On Sunday, December 14, Rob Reiner, aged 78, and his wife Michelle, aged 70, were found stabbed to death inside their large home in the Brentwood neighborhood of Los Angeles. The area is known as a quiet and wealthy community, making the crime even more shocking. Their daughter, Romy Reiner, who lives nearby, discovered their bodies. Emergency responders arrived at the home at around 3:30 in the afternoon. One source described the scene as a horrifying and nightmarish crime scene. Multiple sources close to the family later told People magazine that Nick Reiner was responsible for the killings. The following night, police arrested Nick, who had been living with his parents at the time. He was taken into custody at around 9:15 in the evening and is currently being held without bail on suspicion of murder. As of now, he has not entered a plea, and police have not publicly stated a motive. Sources say that the night before the killings, Rob, Michelle, and Nick attended a holiday party hosted by Conan O'Brien. Witnesses at the party reported a serious argument between Rob and Nick. Several people said Nick was acting erratically and made others uncomfortable. Less than 24 hours later, Rob and Michelle were dead. As the news spread, the Reiner family released a statement saying they were heartbroken by the sudden and tragic loss. Rob and Michelle were also parents to their sons Jake and Nick. Rob additionally had a daughter, Tracy, from his first marriage to Penny Marshall. Many friends and colleagues across Hollywood expressed shock and sadness. Actor Michael Douglas said the tragedy was devastating and described Rob and Michelle as extraordinary people who worked hard to make the world a better place. Actor Jerry O'Connell, who worked with Rob as a child actor, said the loss felt like losing a parent and described Rob as a kind and special human being. Rob Reiner was born in New York City in 1947. He was the son of famous television comedian Carl Reiner and actress Estelle Reiner. After moving to Beverly Hills as a child, Rob attended university and later became a star on the television show All in the Family, where he played Michael Stivic. The role earned him 2 Emmy Awards and launched his career. Although he found success as an actor, Rob always wanted to direct. His first major directing project, This Is Spinal Tap, became a cult classic. He later directed many successful films throughout the 1980s and 1990s. While working on When Harry Met Sally, he met Michelle Singer, a photographer. They married in 1989 and later worked together on several film projects. Behind the scenes, Rob and Michelle were privately dealing with Nick's long battle with addiction. Rob later admitted that he initially reacted too strongly when he learned his son was using drugs and forced him into treatment programs. Both parents later said they regretted how some of those decisions affected Nick and their relationship with him. At one point, it seemed like time and honest conversations had helped heal the family. Nick said in a 2016 interview that most of his anger toward his parents had faded. However, his struggles returned. In a later interview, Nick admitted that while under the influence of drugs, he had destroyed parts of his parents' guest house. Despite everything, sources say Rob and Michelle never gave up on their son. They continued to support him, attend public events together as a family, and try different approaches to help him find stability. Friends describe the Reiners as a very close family who did everything together. One person close to the family said that Rob and Michelle tried everything possible to help Nick, including giving him space and keeping him close. However, his problems were so deep that they were never able to reach a stable solution. Another source said, "The tragedy represents every parent's worst nightmare," and described Rob and Michelle as kind, loving people who truly did everything they could for their child. The investigation into the murders is ongoing.